Hello friends, welcome to our channel, and today's our topic of discussion is how can we restrict the cells, and this type of restriction will help us to make the complex examples. And we will start it. First, suppose here you can see the cells which includes the employee ID, employee name, address, date of birth and gender. And this ID, here we can see that this cell only accept the 4 digits code. First, suppose if I just write here ABCD, it gives the error which means please enter 4 digits code. And if I just write here only 3 digits, so again you can see it gives us error which is please enter 4 digits code. And if I just write here any 4 digit code, so it accepts. Another thing, here you can see the mark. First, suppose if it accepts the criteria, then it gives us the mark. And if we just make it empty, so here you can see it prompt another thing which is the Staric, which means this cell is mandatory to fill. And if we just write here the code, so it accept, which means we have perform the function according to the criteria. Another example or another cell which we have restricted, in this cell here it says accept text only, which means in the employee name. For suppose if I just write here any number, so it gives us error like please enter name only. So what we can do, if I just write here the name like Smith, so it accept the code, and here you can see it gives us check mark, which means it has done the thing. Now the third and the most important, which is the email. In the email it only accept @ domain. For example, if I just write here 123, so it gives us error which means please provide the valid email. And if I just write here ABC or ACD, so it gives us the error. Now if I just write here abcd@yahoo.com, so here you can see it accept the code and it gives us the check. Now we proceed to the date of birth, and in the date of birth we have made the criteria like it only accepts from 1990 to 2020. And if I just, or first suppose if I just write here 1995, so it accepts. And for suppose if I just write here 2021, so it gives us error, which means we have restricted ourselves from the duration of 1990 to 2020. And another thing which is gender, and in this gender you can see the two options which is male and female. If I just select the male, so the mark from the female will be erased or will be removed. And if I just select the female, so the mark will be removed from male and it becomes, or it comes to the female. This is what we will learn in a very short span of time. But before that, please subscribe our channel and please like and give any comment which you like. And we will start our example. And in this sheet, first what we have to do, we have to first zoom in and increase the length of the cell. And here I just write here employee ID and select the cell, and first make it presentable by doing the color and by making the thick border. Now what we have to do, we have to just copy and paste, and for the last cell, and now I just change the name, like first one is employee ID, second one is employee name, third one is email address, and fourth one is our date of birth, and the last one is gender, which includes the male and female. Now our second step is, if this cell remains empty, it gives the mandatory option or Staric symbol, which means this part need to be filled up. And if we complete or if we perform the function according to the criteria, so it gives us check mark, which means we have done this cell. So how can we use, what do we have to do? First we have to select the cell in which we want the check mark. Now we have to use the if function, like equals to, and if I just write here if bracket open, I just write here is blank bracket open, keep the cell number, bracket close, and now is the cell blank remains blank, if not then gives P, and then close the bracket. Now if this cell blanks remains blank, if not then generate P and press enter. Now the cell remains empty, it gives nothing. And if I just write here anything like number, so it gives us P. But what we want the check mark, we don't want the P symbol. So first I just close or minimize the cell, and what we have to do, we have to select the cell and go here in the font and go here in the bottom. Here you can see the wing turn to option, just select it, and here you can see it gives us mark. Now we just need to color it and make it green. So if I just erase, it gives nothing, and if I just write anything, it gives us mark. Now what do we want? We want the mandatory, which is the Staric. So for the Staric we again use the if bracket open, if the cell which is B3 equals to blank, give us Staric, else remains blank. If our address which is B3 is blank, then it generates Staric, otherwise it remains blank. Now I just press here, and if I just erase, so it gives us Staric. If I just write any value, it erase. If I just gives its Staric. Now we want the Staric, but we want in bold and we want in the better color. Now here you can see the cell is empty, so it gives the Staric, which means it is necessary. And if I just write here name, or if I just write here anything, so it accept. This is the first thing. Now we just need to copy, rather than we just need to use formula for every other cell. And here you can see I have just used the same thing and it accepts. This is first thing. Now our last thing, which is we need to restrict the cells. So how can we restrict the cells? We have to select the cell for which we want to restrict, and for the restrictions we have to use the data validation function, and the data validation functions is available in data tab. And here you can see the data validation. In the data validation we just select the cell. Now here you can see the box. In this box we first need to use the custom option, and in the custom option here you can see the formula. So for the formula we just need to write the formula here. Like, what is the formula? We just write here equals to and bracket open. It means it accepts two criteria. First one is number, bracket open, which cell we want to select, this cell, bracket close, comma, and another thing which is its length, and which cell's length we want, this cell's length, equals to 4. Then close the bracket. What is the criteria? We want the AND, which means we want the both criteria. First is number in this cell, second one is its length should be 4, not less than 4, not more than 4. Now if it gives or if it did not accept these criteria, so it will generate the error, which is please enter 4 digits code. This is done, and then press your OK. This is our first function. And for suppose if I just write your ABC, so it gives us error. And if I just write here 1 2 3 4, so it accepts our code. Now another thing, which is our employee name, and for the name we want the text only. Now what we have to do, we have to use the same data validation functions for the employee name. We have to select the cell, or we can use anything. Like first we have to use the data validation, and in the data validation go here in the setting and use custom, and in the custom we again use the formula, which is equals to bracket open is text. It means it should be text, bracket open, again give the cell, close the bracket, again close the bracket. Now if it will not accept the criteria, what it should do, it should give the error, which means please enter text only. Then okay, if I just write here numbers, so it gives the error, and if I just write here the text, so it will accept. And for the ID, it will accept this. Now for the email, which is the most important part. So for the email, what we have to do, we have to again use the data validation, and go here in the data validation, use the custom option, and in this we just need to use important function, which means we use equals to, and then what we have to do, we have to use is number, bracket open, and in the number we again use another function, which is match function, which is equals to is number, bracket open, match, and in this we need to write some characters like inverted comma, then need to write here Staric, then at the rate, then again we need the Staric, full stop, question mark, again Staric, and the last we need to write here inverted comma, and then we use the bracket, which is our this bracket, comma, and then 0, and then close the 2 brackets. Now go here in the error, which means please enter valid at email, and then close it. Now we just test this. If I just write here number, so it gives error. If I just write here any alphabet, it gives error. And if I just write here any domain ID or yahoo.com, so it accepts. Now the fourth one, which is the date of birth, which is very simple. We just restrict it in the data validation, and go here, and we just need to select the date option. In the date, it will give us 2 options, which is start date and end date. So for the start, we just select like from the 1st January 1990, and for the end we just use the 12th December 2020 to restrict it, and we just write here okay. Now for the 4th one or for the 5th one, we need gender, and for the gender we need 2 things, which is male and female. So first I just write here male and give space and write here female, and increase the space so that we will get space for the symbols. Now I just need to give the 2 symbols for which we can mark for female and for male. For the mark, we need to use the developer option in the tab. So here you can see the developer, go here in the insert, and here you can see the option, which is option button. Select the cell, and first you need to erase the text and make copy and paste. And then if we need to select the cell, first right control and then press here, and now you just need to select the area for its impact. Again, select this cell and increase its area, and I just select or increase its length. Now it has completed, and if I just select the male, and if I just select the female, it will erase from the male, and if I just write here male, it will erase from the female. And for the date of birth, if I just write here 1995, it will accept. If I just any number which is more than the duration, it gives error. So if I just give the date according to our duration, and you just need to make it in the center alignment, in the center. And now the last thing, we just go here in the option page layout and grid lines, and we just need to erase the grid lines so it will be more helpful to be presentable. If I just erase, so it gives us error, and if I just write here any number, so it will accept. If I just use any number, so it gives error, and if I just write here any name, so it will accept. If I just write here any alphabet, it gives error. If I just write a number, so it gives error. If I just write here any domain ID, then it will accept. And for the male female, we have already used the things. This is all what we have done, and hopefully you have liked our video, and thank you for watching us. Thank you.